This is the Formentor VZ5 and I'm going to show you everything about it. It is not the old variant, it is the new variant because it has finally come out. There is going to be a limit of 4,000 in the world distributed of this car. The previous VZ5 had a total of 7,000 produced from 2023 or 2023 until the end of its production life. If you look at it from the front, you can definitely tell, okay, we got the new one standing here. We have a very nice badge all the way on the bottom here, which says VZ5, including also some carbon fiber touches on the right outside of the car here. In the front, kind of spoiler there. Front lip, I should say. Intake up on the top, well down here, and some more down here, looking very aggressive from the front, that shark nose design. I really do like the new design language that they have with the newer model years. Looks really fantastic here on the Formentor as well. Color on here is going to the, oh, that is freaking hot, the Century Bronze Matte color, which is 1,000, I think 650 euros extra. Looks fantastic on this combination of the car. Starting price, if you do want to pick up a VZ5 in Germany, 73,120 or 210 euros. Already quite a lot. You get a 5-cylinder engine below that. And then you can also get the way the car is standing here for roughly around 80,000 euros. So you're paying quite a lot for a Formentor, but you also get quite a lot under the hood, which we'll look at here in a second. Standard-wise, you cannot really pick between any variants. You only get the VZ5 variant. That is going to give you HD matrix LED lights for the Formentor, and other than that, full LED lights for everything else. Yeah, let's look under the hood to show you that wonderful beauty of that VZ5 engine. When it comes to the technical layout, they really didn't change much. There's only one thing they actually changed when it comes to the engine, the apartment, and, well, that's going to be the top speed. We'll talk about that in a second. You still get that RS3 engine in here, so the Audi 2.5 liter inline 5-cylinder engine, which is absolutely fantastic. 390 horsepower compared to an RS3, which gets 400 horsepower. 480 Newton meters in here, 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds. And the cool thing is that this is now no longer electronically limited to its top speed. It now goes up to 280 kilometers an hour, which is, well, 30 kilometers more than you were able to do before, which was 250 kilometers an hour. Dimensions of the car are going to be 4 meters and 48 of length, wheelbase of 2 meters and 68 centimeters, 1 meter and 85 wide without the side mirrors being extended, and 1 meter and 50 tall. It is also an all-wheel drive setup. And when it comes to the design here on this side, you might be looking at the rims and think, okay, those are not the standard rims. That is because we have these 20-inch rims in complete black in here, and that is also going to give you the black design language for this, which are going to make the rear exhaust pipes in black and not in a bronze design. We do still get our Akebono 6-piston brakes here in these like bronze kind of touch. You can see carbon touch also goes further up here. We do also have carbon side mirrors for the housing. However, that is going to be an extra you do have to pick up and purchase that. We do also have a full 360-degree camera setup on this car, which gives a top-down view. That is going to be another extra that you have to pick up. Keyless entry, keyless go, you can see here with that little symbol there. We do also have a roof capacity of 75 kilograms, if I'm not mistaken. And if you pick up the Skyline package, you will also be able to get that panoramic window up top, which you can actually open, which we also have equipped in here. No chrome elements anywhere, complete black design here, tinted rear windows, so privacy glass. And for one of the highlights when it comes to the design is definitely the back. Get a little bit of a roof spoiler here with a big in-carving rear window there. The new design language on the back with the logo now being illuminated and also connected to the rear LED bar. VZ5 badge here on the side. Carbon touches, again on the back diffuser. And our quad exhaust pipes, which also have this upward design instead of its normal horizontal design. Looks absolutely fantastic. When it comes to the sound, we'll talk about that when we're driving. It sounds loud when you start it. We'll do a sound check here in a second. But when you're actually driving, it's a little bit underwhelming in my opinion, but still a cool, well, sound, but maybe a little bit underwhelming. And a whole black design here on the bottom, which is quite elongated there as well. If you're looking at the towing capacity, there is none for this car because you can't get a towing hook on it. And for the fuel capacity on this car, you're looking at 55 liters with a WLTP of, I need the key. of 10.1 up to 10.2 liters. I don't think you're going to reach that if you're driving this a little bit more sporty. We'll see that in a second. For the trunk, it is going to be electrical. For the tailgate, we do have a cooling box in here, which doesn't come with the car, but just for size reference, and maybe I've forgotten it a couple of days, so you just brought it to me. But we don't have to talk about that. It's for visual representation, I think. That's a good explanation there. 410 liters is going to be if you don't flip over the rear seats. The standard model, the VZ, is going to get 450 liters. Actually, no, not the VZ, just the normal Formentor. I think the VZs get 420 if I'm not mistaken. And if you flip over the rear bench here, we're looking at 1,475 liters. You can nicely flip over the rear seats from the back. No, that's actually a lie. I thought these were actually handles to flip over the rear seats, but that is not. You have to do it over the top here, or you can do it from the front. I'll do that in a second. We have a 40-60 split with a rear center tunnel, so you can put some longer stuff through there, like skis or something like that. And if we look further onto the side, there's going to be a hook right there. There's another hook on the very bottom. And you can also flip this up, where really not much is going to be put in there, because we do also have a sound system in here, the Harman Kardon sound system, which is not going to allow you to place anything under there. But we do get pockets on the right as well on the left side. And the other thing that you obviously have below there is going to be the starter battery, which you usually get in the Formentor in the back. If you flip it over here, you can see very nice and flat. There's no inclination here, no gap, so that is going to be nice. You can load your stuff through there. And in the rear seats, you can see I got enough space to the seat in front of me. I'm a 1.80 m tall, 5'11". The seat is also squishy, so you can put your knees in there. A little bit of pocket below that as well. Footroom is also plenty. I don't have the seat on the lowest setting, if I'm not mistaken, in the front. But still, even if you did, you have enough legroom on the bottom. Center tunnel is going to be very big, so if you do sit in the center, you are going to be sharing your legroom or your footroom with the other people there. Let's look at the headroom before I die here of sweat. I get a full almost height of my hand right there, so enough space there. The seats don't give that much side support, so if you do drive fast around these corners and you have people in the back, make sure you're in here with 3 people so you can rely on those as your side support. In the center, we get climatization, vents, and also our own climate zone in the back, so we can change it through those touch screens, and 2 USB-Cs, no further space on the bottom. Center armrest, we also get 2 cup holders and a smaller one in the middle. And then, like I said, we can also open this, so we can fold that through here and put some longer stuff through there, like skis, for instance. If we then look at the design on the side, we can see up on the top, actually harder material right there, so hard plastic. This is going to be nice soft material. Where you also put your elbow, it's going to be softer material, hard plastic right there. And further down with a fairly big carving on there, so you can actually put some stuff in there. If we look at the mat on the bottom here, we also get VZ5 logo in there. The seats are not going to be the most buckety seats that you can pick up. These are more of a comfortable seats, and you can definitely see here you can pick up very aggressive bucket seats and sport bucket seats, I think that's what they call them as well. And you can see up on the top we also have that Skyline package for the panoramic window. And now join me in the front of the VZ5 steering wheel, typical VZ5 or typical CUPRA steering wheel, I should say. Very nice. I always love this steering wheel. Physical buttons all throughout. You get a start engine start button on the bottom, and also your different drive modes on the back, on the left I should say. The only thing I really do not like about it is going to be the pedals in here, because they're really far away from your fingers. Well, not really far away, but they're not that big, and they're also completely plastic, which is not that nicest. If we press on the start button, we can see we have a digital cockpit, no heads-up display, just like you can't get in a Formentor, and also Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is going to be wireless in here. Normal, there we go, just connected with Apple CarPlay. Navigation system in here, you can, well, it works quite okay. Zoom in, zoom out. Climatization is here integrated into the bottom. Not the biggest fan of that, but you can change everything through here. Heated seats for both of the front seats, and also heated steering wheel. You can see via that button right there. Otherwise, quality here is basically, well, it's better in the front, because up on the top you get softer material and this kind of like aluminum brush design in there. And then further down, everything is just like in the back. On the bottom, you also have hard plastic, and there's also a button down here so you can open your trunk. In the center, we got 2 USB-Cs. We get an inductive charging space, place to put your key, which, well, you should be putting there, but I don't like that because this goes out too far, so I can't really put that there. So I put it in here. Some people press this by accident because I think that's their start button. That's your ESC button. Very small gear selector, auto hold. 2 cup holders here on the bottom, and also some more storage space in there with a 12-volt port right there. Glove compartment, again, very hard plastic, but I mean, that's only something like Chinese manufacturers don't put hard plastic there, some of them, and more of this like interesting design up on the top and soft material on the very top. Panoramic window, like I already said, you can open that. Let's see how far it goes. There we go, basically opens all the way towards the back. That's the max you can do. I like that more than most manufacturers do nowadays, where you have your panoramic window which doesn't open, but you get this like translucent stuff in there and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Let's start up the engine, listen to it. Quite quiet from the inside. Reversing camera, we can see there we do have that top view package, which I think 650 euros or something. You get that full 360-degree camera, park assistant integrated in here as well. In here you can also press different buttons or different quick buttons, so you can see front, rear, right, and basically your rims. That is always quite appreciated. I like that. And let's remove the parking brake and let's get going. Let's look at the surrounding view. If you look out the back, we have a very good amount of visibility in there, I'd say, for a Formentor. Window is okayly sized, and the rear center headrest is also quite low. A pillar is also not big. If you look at the C and D pillar, there is going to be a window separating those, so surrounding visibility is not bad. You sit up a little bit higher, you can see over the bonnet quite well. And if you get that 360-degree camera, you're not going to have an issue finding a parking spot in the city. With also a turning circle of 11 meters, we've had no issues trying to find a parking spot or also even fitting into one. And what I wasn't able to test there a second ago was the sound isolation at 130. We did one a second ago, roughly at around 69, 70 decibels, which is basically the standard in this class, I'd say. Well, not in this class, but from the cars we've tested, like a Tesla Model 3 is at 70 decibels as well, but that is also an electric car. And let's now go into the CUPRA mode, which I can press by the button on the bottom. That's going to put everything through the most aggressive setting, and we're going to hit onto the Autobahn. I mean, it does get quite a lot louder. As soon as you go off that gas pedal, it reminds me a little bit of the RS3 where it kicks you to the front. But in general, I miss a little bit of that gear where it kicks you really off as soon as you shift. Top speed now up to 280. That guy's about to lose that back bumper, whatever it's called. 190, 200, 210. Gets up there quite quickly. That guy's going to go out now, so I'm going to have to go a little bit off the gas pedal. And then the brakes also really good. Akebono 6-piston brakes do a good job. Again, kick down here from around 190, 200, 205, 211, 16, 18, 20. I can almost not keep up with it. It is quite quick. And bump. You can definitely feel everything. Now I'm going to slow down. You can see here again, the brakes work really well. That guy's driving insanely slow. So it really gets up there. Those 4.2 seconds also from 0 to 100, and then that kick even at 150 is just nice. That 5-cylinder just does an amazing job. Already used to it with the RS3. Going uphill here now. You can see it shifted down basically at 7,000 RPMs already, and then went back up. When you're driving these speeds, probably don't look at the consumption, because then you're going to see your pocket evaporating quite quickly. But who cares? I like driving. And I like driving fast. Speed and power. Jeremy Clarkson. But let's slow down a little bit, go back into the comfort setting, and then look at the decibel counts as well. Well, this is going to not be the nicest now, because there is a little bit of traffic jam here. But let's talk about some other things while we're driving it on the Autobahn here. We have a couple of assistant features. If we press the button on the left here, we can press the set button. That is going to activate our lane centralization, adaptive cruise control, stuff like that. You also have this button, which you can very quickly select and then scroll down with the right side. EU warning assistant to quickly turn off. You can also change between travel assist, ACC, and a limiter in here, and also turn your lane assist off quite quickly. Then with here, I can also increase the speed. Let's put it up to 120. It's going to keep the distance to the car in front of me the way that I've set it up, which currently is not the lowest. We'll put it to the lowest. We've had no issues with this. The only thing it does not have is a hands-on recognition. So you really do have to put your hands in the top here and move it a little bit for it to recognize that you're there. And it also isn't the longest amount before it starts telling you that it's now already telling me it's probably like a 10-second or something that you can keep your hands off. But we've had no issues with it. It does a good job. Also brakes very smoothly, accelerates quite smoothly. So decent controls. Okay, it's bothering me that it really wants me to put my hands on after like 5 to 10 seconds. Blind spot assistant is not integrated into the side mirror, but rather into the ambient lighting that you get. So if I drive past this truck now, it's going to show me right on that door side there. There you go, you can see now blind spot is activated. I like that integration. It's a little bit more visualization and more in your kind of point of view here, rather than one being completely inside of your side mirror. Consumption-wise, you drove this car trying to drive it as most efficient way that you can. That included Autobahn, country road, and a little bit of city driving. And the lowest you were able to get was 9.4 liters. Which, well, if that is already the lowest you can achieve, there's no eco mode and anything like that, and here you just have comfort, then that already shows you, okay, it's not going to be a very, well, how do you say? Consumption friendly, eco-friendly, whatever you want to call, car. You are going to have to spend quite a lot of money to fuel this thing up. I think when we completely fueled it up, in Germany currently we spend like 85 bucks or something.
Yeah,
a little bit more than that, like close to 95 euros to completely fuel it up, and then you're not going to get too far. But WLTP claims those 10.1, 10.2 liters. If you try really hard, you can get below that, but in daily drive, where you put it sometimes into performance mode, sport mode, you're really not going to be able to achieve that WLTP value. But kind of, that's not the point of this car, is it? Let's go back into CUPRA mode and just to see the cornering capabilities of this car a little bit here. You can see that kick is just amazing. And this is now set up to the most rugged kind of, okay, that guy is driving in front of me now, rugged setup for the suspension, so it is very harsh. But you drove around here a second ago in a very quick manner. Absolutely fantastic cornering capabilities with a torque vectoring system as well in here, which is allowing it to distribute the power to the rear wheels completely separating them, so 100% to the right wheel or the left wheel if that is needed. Does an amazing job, and cornering capabilities really excel in this car. Very positively surprised by that. The one thing that I kind of miss in this car is that, well, first of all, the sound. You might have heard there on the Autobahn, kind of missing more of an exhaust sound. Some other not Formentor, but I think the Formentor VZ, the normal one, also does it. Add a little bit of fake sound via speakers. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but when they do it a little bit subtle and they just integrate it so you really don't notice the difference, but it adds a little bit more of an like a sound orchestra to it. I feel like that would have suited this car a little bit more, but also, I don't know, then you have fake sound. It's always a little bit, fake sound. I don't like it too much, but maybe a little bit would have helped it a little bit. Little bit. Maybe you're a little bit confused by that expression as well. But the RS3, I'm just comparing it to the RS3 because we've driven both the RS3 and the facelift RS3 with the same engine in it. It just does a little bit better. It is more of an experience to it when you're driving that and really pushing it on country roads and on the Autobahn. You can hear a lot more from the exhaust, especially also when you flip over the rear bench. Then that exhaust really speaks volume. But the other thing that the RS3 does a little bit better is gear shifts. It does it way more aggressive. This has the DSG gearbox in it. The RS3 gets the S-Tronic, and that S-Tronic is just more aggressive in my opinion. As soon as you go off the gas pedal, or you shift up, so to say, well, not so to say, when you shift up, it just pushes you into the seat. This car really doesn't do that. It's a little bit more comfortable in that aspect, but still, it really quick shifts, does a really good job there, still gets a really good punch. And when you want to drive this comfortable, we're currently driving in the city. If we also look at the different drive modes up on the top, we have comfort, performance, Coupe, and individual. Let me just quickly press on. It's going to put into Coupe because we have set up into individual to the most sporty setting. But you can see here we have 15 different adjustability in our DCC, dynamic chassis control, which goes from comfort to Coupe. Does a really big difference there when you're driving in a city, but in general the suspension is still a little bit more tailored towards a sporty suspension. You notice every bump, but in a daily usage in the city, it is not like it's going to hurt your back if you're driving it over longer distances in the city. But I've noticed bumps, I've noticed them a lot more driving this car compared to just a normal, I don't know, like a Tesla Model 3 for instance. So what is my final verdict on the VZ5? It's an absolute joy to drive. Sound, in my opinion, could have used a little bit more of that, pops and bangs. I miss them a little bit here just to get some more motion when you're driving. And RS3 gives you more motion when driving it, in my opinion. Design-wise, I absolutely love it. It is still a practical car that you can use as a family car. VZ5, obviously with that 5-cylinder, is going to, be a little bit more of that typical sporty feeling. So it's not a complete family car, but a family car with a lot of sport aspect and performance aspect. When it comes to the equipment, you get a lot in here, basically a completely fully spec'd VZ or normal Formentor. Lovely color, lovely design, joy to drive, and there is no competition to this car as there is no RSQ3 anymore, for instance. So if you do want to pick up one of these limited exemplars, that's the German word, examples of 4000, well, let me know if you in the comments if you would choose to do that. Make sure to like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.